we've had a horrendous winter. And, you know, one of the big topics among municipalities, counties, and, you know, states certainly is the condition of the roads, the infrastructure took quite a beating. And I have, I think, 7 or 8 state roads through my district. So a lot of the communication we get from both constituents and governing body officials is about state highways and the condition. And I know it's tough to pay attention to everything that really needs it. Everybody has the worst section in the whole state. So 16 municipalities, I'll get 16 worst places in the whole state. And that's the way the calls start off. So, you know, that leads to the discussion of the resurfacing program, paving projects, and as I spoke before, this is really just to find out, you know, some numbers so we can really convey actual information, accurate information to, you know, whoever contacts us and be sort of your voice on the ground there. The maintenance resurfacing program was funded at $100 million per year from FY 2018 to FY 2021, then $90 million for FY 25. In FY 2026, the allocation is $60 million, a 33% reduction from that already underfunded baseline. So we've been going steadily down over the years. So it's worth approximately $132 million today, meaning that the program's real purchasing power has declined by more than 55%. What is the FY 2027 allocation for the maintenance resurfacing program?
So you're right. We all have our worst potholes in the places where we stay, but just from a DOT perspective, we started our pothole program beginning of March. I think we are close to about 160,000 potholes that have been filled. So we are making our way to the worst one as we go along. But as far as the way we end up looking at our capital program, we do have different systems in place, and our teams are constantly looking at, we have the bridge maintenance system, the pavement maintenance systems, and we are constantly looking at what the issues are. And when those get entered into the system, we use that data to determine where are the critical prioritizations that we need to be doing. So look at it holistically, but getting back to your particular point about what are we doing for fiscal year 2027. Chuck, if I can have you share some information on it.
So on our state of good repair pavement, I apologize. I'm going to have to get back to you through the chair. I apologize.
If you would, just say, you know, any of the numbers included here and any additional information you can get that would help, you know, complete the picture for us. That would really be helpful. Okay, keeping on the same thing, FY 2018 to 25, the department averaged 40 paving projects per year with average contract values of $375 million and approximately 1.3 million tons of asphalt laid annually. In FY 2026, the department is on pace for 22 projects, a 45% reduction. At roughly $202 million in contract value and approximately 600,000 tons. So you see the pattern, you know, being formed here. A 54% drop in material volume. Is that accurate from the numbers that you've gotten on your end?
So great question, and I've met with the Asphalt Paving Association, and we had a similar conversation about how much money is being put out, and we had some really good discussion on the quality of asphalt. Is it because we are doing a better job? All of the different things, and I know we are going to get back together again to have that discussion to see what the issues are. The second thing is we did bring up, again, they're state highways, but we also end up giving money, the money goes to local governments and counties, and a lot of their projects, what I would call are resurfacing projects. So money is going to the towards quote-unquote paving and towards making sure that we have the right pavement dollars being spent. And what I would say is, it's a double-edged sword, right? If you're doing a really good job, then in a fiscally constrained budget, then we have to go prioritize resources that need attention. So that's what we are working towards, but looking forward to we have a follow-up that's going to be scheduled, and then we'll go back. Again, I kind of look at life and say, let's look at data-driven decisions and then make the decision, how do we use our public dollars the right way? Chuck, I think you were mentioning.
If I could, Assemblyman, go back to the resurfacing question that you mentioned earlier. The TTF allocation is $68 million, and there's a $10 million federal allocation as well for resurfacing.
Got it. If you could include those numbers in whatever you send to the chair, that would be very helpful. And last question now. In FY 2026, the program is funded at $60 million, less than half of what the same dollars bought in FY 2018. And this is, the whole bugaboo with inflation and having to deal with these, projects. After accounting for inflation, and the state is on pace to pave roughly half the road mileage, it averaged over the private seven years. What happens to a road that's scheduled but doesn't get resurfaced? Is it automatically first in the next budget?
So again, going back to some of the systems that we have in place, and we look at where they are in terms of deficiency, and that's how goes back to what's our budget, and based on the budget, what are the ones that we need to prioritize from a safety perspective as well as economic viability perspective. Now, what happened between 2018 and now, again, what you're showing is a trend, where, from what I'm gathering, the trend has gone down. As I look at this upcoming year, again, based on what Chuck's numbers are, and we'll get back to you, I think if I can make 3 points, right? Data-driven, deficiency, safety. And there may be some roads that may get pushed to the next year just because they are not prioritized compared to others.
You mean as the conditions evaluated from year? Okay.
Yep.
And last part of the question too. Is there any way to calculate what deferred maintenance like that costs by deferring it from year to year? Is there a way to calculate what the extra cost would be?
I think I'd mentioned in my remarks, when we defer something, you always end up paying for it. It's like your house. You defer payment, you defer work on it, it gets even more and more. You have to spend more on it. I would say from a scientific perspective, yes, you can look at certain numbers as to what it can be, but again, there's only so much of a budget, and it has to again go back to what is the prioritization and where do we spend our money on assets. But more than happy to come back to you through the chair if in case there are some numbers, and I'd love to partner with some of the industry as well as some of the associations, because there are benchmarks, I'm sure, that exist over there.
Great, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.